Hello, my name is June Gesteland. I am a sophomore at Metuchen High School, and this is my second year in the Team 7587 robotics team.
Hello, my name is Josh Perzer. I am a junior at Metuchen High School, and this is my third year on Team 7587.
Hello, my name is Kai Gestland. I am a sophomore at Metuchen High School, and likewise, this is my second year in Team 7587.
And now we will present to you our game design for the 2021 First Game Design Challenge competition.
Good evening. We are Team 7587, Metuchen Momentum, and this is our game, Pharmaceutical Formulation. In our story, robots from two pharmacies work together to formulate vaccines. Our theme of vaccine development is relevant to the current pandemic, which has changed everyone's way of life and has led to these at-home challenges. We also want to honor healthcare workers who have been risking their lives to keep us safe. Finally, we believe that this would be a great theme for an FRC game because it honors cooperation, is topical, and sends a positive message through making vaccines together. The main goal of the game is for robots to support healthcare workers and save lives by filling the vaccine supply chain. Here is the playing field. Robots pick up raw materials and load them into their synthesis tank. Then, they carry the synthesized vaccine from the loading dock to a truck or plane. Robots have to disinfect at the end of the game. This view shows the starting configuration for the raw materials, which are represented by the tiny green balls. Shown here are the safety zones, which discourage ramming. Robots may not enter an opposing team's safety zone or touch an opponent who is in their safety zone. Any violations would result in penalties. Finally, the circled modules are vaccination stations. Each team's station is on the opposite side of the field. If 3 crates are placed in each station, both teams earn a ranking point.
For game pieces, we chose balls and cubes because they can be picked up in similar ways. As a result, teams do not have to create two separate mechanisms to pick up each object. At the same time, there are a variety of ways robots can interact with these objects, which allows for many robot designs. Another way we made our game enjoyable for human players as well as audiences was to include lights in various locations. First, there are lights around each hole of the synthesis tanks, which illuminate when a ball goes through them. Once an alliance inserts raw materials into each of the 4 holes, a light located at their loading dock will shine. This will signal to human players that they can push vaccines through their loading dock. There are also lights around the neck of each shower. When endgame starts and the chain is lowered, the lights shine red. If a robot pulls the chain down halfway or 3/4 of a foot, the lights turn purple. Once a robot locks the chain in place after pulling it down a total of 1.5 feet, the chains turn bright blue, signifying that the robot can begin climbing. As for the locking mechanism inside the shower, a separate ball is attached to the top of the chain. After the robot pulls the chain down 1.5 feet, the ball jams the small opening in the shower, locking the chain in place.
We made our game engaging for audiences as well as teams. Teams can choose to specialize in certain areas of our game, depending on their skill level and eagerness to challenge themselves. Rookie teams can focus on the synthesis of vaccines and the delivery of vaccines to the truck, while experienced teams can focus on delivering to and balancing the plane. We believe our game encourages teamwork and gracious professionalism. There is little incentive to ram opponents, as every second is better spent on generating and delivering vaccines. In the spirit of cooperation, alliances must cooperate in order to receive ranking points and compete to win. Above all, a robot can't win on its own. To be victorious, alliances must work together to efficiently load raw materials and deliver vaccines. A single robot cannot perform these tasks fast enough to outpace a whole alliance. Like all first competitions, we made sure our game is safe. Towers of vaccines may fall, but the vaccines are made of foam, so they will not damage robots. Since collisions will occur, our game requires bumpers, and the chances of any game object being ejected from the field are low, so our game will be safe for everyone. Finally, Creating tall stacks of vaccines creates suspense and excitement. The brightly colored game pieces, the lights around the neck of each shower, and the big tilting planes in the middle of the field makes it easy to see who is winning. The wide variety of strategies also makes each game a unique experience for both spectators and teams. Thank you very much. This concludes our presentation about pharmaceutical formulation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Mintz. I'm one of the mentors to the game design team. And it's been a real pleasure working with the team as we develop the game. As a retrospective, what do you have to say about the design process? What have you learned and what stands out for you?
So for the design process, first we looked at previous FRC games. We looked at about the past 10, 11 games, and we looked at the different aspects like the autonomous period, what they did in teleop period, and the end game. We saw that most of the end game in each game had hanging. And so we wanted to incorporate that in our game because we thought that challenges robots. And after that, we thought of what our theme should be. And so we thought of many ideas like Gold Rush or Capture the Flag. But then we agreed as a team that we should make it relevant to the pandemic. And so we made it about disease or something like that. And so we thought of robots, maybe they would cover openings to block, maybe they could cover openings with masks to block viruses from coming in. Or we can have robots sort healthy and sick people. But we agreed that we should make our game about vaccines and then making vaccines. And so from there, we thought of bringing it to a truck and a plane so that they could bring it to a high and a low area to challenge all types of teams, beginner and advanced. And we also added the synthesis tank as a way for robots to cooperate in the teams. And as for what I learned from this, I learned a lot of communication skills. At first, I was afraid of speaking out to my teammates that if I disagreed with them and if I thought the idea was not that great. But as I built my communication skills, I was more easily able to do that. And I also learned how to plan ahead because we planned ahead. We scheduled like, when should we get this done? When should we have this decided? And we followed that plan pretty well. And so I think planning was also something I learned, that we all learned, really.
What special conditions did FIRST put on the game, and how did that influence your design?
So one of the aspects of the game that that FIRST gave the option to include is the element. Now the element is something to do with a chain. Now they didn't really specify what kind of chain or really give any guidance of how to use it. Now in our game, how we used it was in the end game, teams could go up to their chain, grab onto it, pull it down, and then pull themselves up. Now there was a lot of thinking about what exactly we can use a chain for. There are a lot of iterations of designs that include chains, but the reason why we chose this one is because it's not an easy task, but at the same time, it's not a terribly difficult task. Teams can easily build a mechanism to grab onto the chain, and really there's so many different capabilities with having a chain to grab onto and climb.
Nothing's so good it can't be improved. Have you given any follow-on thought to possible changes to the game or improvements?
Yes, of course. For example, we've always considered since finalizing our game and submitting it to add points to the synthesis tank. in order to further give rookie teams a chance, because the main thing that rookie teams can easily do is deliver materials to the synthesis tank, and if they get points for it, then it will further give them an advantage. However, we didn't want to turn the game into just making vaccines, because just making a vaccine isn't enough in the real world. You have to deliver the vaccines to the most important locations and utilize the most useful transportation methods for them. And we wanted to emphasize that in that game, which is why you get a lot of points from for putting it in the plane, a decent amount of points for putting it in the truck, no points when you make vaccines using the synthesis tank. We also changed our mind about the some of the barriers that we initially put in our game. For example, we forgot to put in barriers in front of our loading bays, and obviously that is detrimental considering the fact that the opposing team can sit their robot right in front of the loading bay and they can't do anything about it. So we think that that is a crucial improvement.
As the main point of FIRST is to learn. What lessons have you learned from this, and has any follow-on tasks emerged from the project? Have you decided to undertake anything, or at least are you considering undertaking any additional projects as a result of what you've learned?
So I think Josh and Kai can share what they learned after me. But as for what I learned, again, planning, and communication skills, but also I also learned how to come up with many ideas and then funnel them down to one good idea. And I also learned how to like present. And I haven't really presented a lot. And so I think this gave me good practice to, we all came up with a script and then the mentors helped us shorten the script. And so I think this helped me build presentation skills. And as for projects that I want to undertake after this grew my interest in design. And so I'm thinking of I may be learning how to CAD, and uh, I'm interested in design in general. So yeah.
So just to add to that and give my point of view, like sorry, not Kai, June said, really communication and being able to narrow ideas down. One of the big things is really if I hear an idea from June or Kai that initially I think, well, there's no way that's going to work. Now, this has helped me to learn how to look at those ideas and instead of saying, no, that won't really work, more think of, well, I'm not sure if that will work, but we can make it work by improving it. So there was a lot of that throughout the entire game design process. All of our ideas, some good, some bad, uh, they were all over the place, but I was very happy to get all of our ideas together and really create this game. Now on to other projects that I'm planning on undertaking or will undertake is actually my Eagle project. I was already planning on doing it before this. However, it definitely helped me to really communicate and make my ideas really come to life, which is really also what an Eagle project is all about.
So how about any projects that would contribute to the team's long-term development strategy?
I think that simulation task of being able to simulate a game, and we could use that project to not only simulate our game, but simulate any game in the future. And it would also be good practice if they have another at-home challenge and they have another game design challenge. And another idea is also just CAD in general. I think we don't really have many CAD members in our team right now. And so if we start doing CAD projects as a team and gather people who might be interested in CAD, that would benefit the team as a whole.
What else would you like to tell the audience?
Um, I'll take this question. We would like to tell the audience the importance of our game highlights the importance not just of making vaccines, which everyone's focused on, but also transporting vaccines. We want to tell the audience the importance of every step of filling the vaccine supply chain and how difficult it is to make vaccines in order for them to appreciate healthcare workers and especially chemists and pharmacists more.
What would you tell people who are your fellow students who are interested in the team, who are teetering on the edge of maybe joining or not, especially the ones who are not so interested in technology?
Well, when I joined the first year I was in robotics. Honestly, I felt like I wasn't really participating much. I was, well, honorably in the programming team because I tried getting into it, and I tried to learn Java, but I realized that it wasn't really my thing. But after this year, many opportunities opened up, especially because the what we had to do changed. Instead of creating a robot for a game, we make the game itself, and that was a lot more fun for me. Conceptualizing topics, thinking of stories behind the game, designing specific modules and mechanics like the vaccination station or the trucks and planes. It was a lot more intriguing, and it was a lot more fun. So even if you aren't very interested in technological things like joining the mechanical team and building robots and sketching them out with computer programs, or joining the programming team and programming the robot using Java, the teams like the design challenge team, this current one, which is just purely on ideas and concepts, also the innovation team, which is the same, and the marketing team, which is on how we can get sponsors. So there are many, especially with this year, there are many opportunities, many branches to go on.
Just to add on to what Kai said, yeah, it doesn't even have to be, an at-home challenge. Even during the regular robotic seasons, there's a design team for the robot itself, and just to add on to that, the marketing team reaches out to sponsors, and the marketing team works on presenting our robot and presenting our team to our community, Metuchen. So yeah.
What non-technical skills does the team most need?
I would say communication. For art students, we really do need designs for the team, like these lovely virtual backgrounds with our logo. Really, our team, if you have an interest, there is a very good chance. I'm not saying there's a 100% chance, but there's a very good chance that if you're interested in something, somewhere in the team, we can incorporate it. So communication, which is a really important skill, not just for Zoom interviews, but also at our competitions when you have to talk about our robot to a panel of judges. But communicate, like I keep saying communication, but communication, art, marketing, being able to um, get sponsors and really help out the team. June or Kai, do you have anything else to add for that?
Yeah, communication, also collaboration. Obviously, you need to be able to communicate with your team and share your ideas and also take in others. Also, as I said, planning ahead, because our team, we plan ahead. We only have about 6 weeks, I believe, to build a robot in a regular season. So we have to plan ahead in order to get that done in only 6 weeks.
As a mentor, I'm always concerned with unknown unknowns, and I'm sure there are students who can have lessons to offer the team, both the members and the mentors. Plus, there are a number of tasks where we could really use help. Simple things like keeping track of what's where, how much of a certain part do we have, when do we need to reorder, all the steps that are involved in keeping an enterprise running If you're at all interested in doing that, please come forward.